Well, hello. How are you, folks? Doing well? Good. So am I. I am really excited because we have a very exciting episode, don't we, Vince?
Yes, we certainly do.
Now, before we get into all that, I want to give a special shout out to all the cats and dogs and chickens and monkeys of the world because without you guys, this show wouldn't be possible. All right. With that being said, we do have a special episode. We got a special guest. He's a good friend of mine. We're going to get to him in a minute. But he is a very special person. And by special, I don't mean special education. I mean special, as he has a big heart. He's a good dancer. He's a good singer. He even barks really loudly when he snores. It's pretty crazy, Vince. You should see it.
Like firsthand, I should be around him when he's sleeping, is what you're suggesting?
So he could bark in your face. Yes.
Okay, that sounds like an experience.
Something like that.
All right.
That's right, you guys. That's how we're kicking off the show with this type of excitement. But before we get into our special guest, a good friend of mine, DEAVION, we're going to do it like we normally do it. So with that
like
being
we
said,
do it
guys,
this time, I go for mine. I got to shine.
Now throw your hands up in the sky. With that being said, you guys, I am the jet flying, as said by The Rock. No, actually said by Ric Flair. The jet flying, limousine riding, that's Ric Flair. The pie eating, jabroni beating, that's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Man with the plan, host with the most, the master, the man, and I am the ruler of the world. As said by Psycho Sid in 97. Your host, LAREN Maxstar Moore.
And I am officially COVID-free for now, Vince EUSTACE.
That is amazing news, by the way. That is amazing news.
It wasn't a scare, but at the same time, it's nice to hear. It's good to have any bit of good news during this year.
You and your wife have been relatively safe, so you deserve it, sir. You deserve it. We're friends. I know you. I've only seen you twice since this whole COVID thing, and outside of that, I know you have a coffin in your house, literally, that you sleep in. You and Marissa, you guys never come out of it ever. You just sit there.
Yeah.
But that's right, folks. We're just bringing in that good energy, and you know where you've reached. This is season 2, you guys. Season 2. We've got our first guest. I'm so excited. But yes, this is season 2, episode 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Get your woman on the floor. Gotta get up to get down.
See, where I lack, my co-host gains. He picks up where I slack. You guys, you have reached season 2, episode 4 of Popcorn
and Booze.
You know, it's funny, Vince. For the first time ever on our show, which is kind of sad because we've been doing this, 3-4 months now. I'm drinking alcohol, actual alcohol. This isn't just Coke Zero, or what is this? Oh, Diet Pepsi this time. It isn't just that. I actually have the devil's juice in here, Vince. The devil's juice.
Well, the devil's a lie, so be careful with that.
So we're going to sip right. I got the solo cup. Shout out to the Street Profits, because you don't want no smoke. Ow! All right, Vince.
We want the smoke.
We want all the smoke. I have a song called No Smoke. You've heard it. It's pretty catchy.
I have.
Go check me out, you guys. SoundCloud.com/Maxstar83, and you can hear that song. I've got new music coming out, too. But you know that, Vince. You were at one of my studio sessions.
That's right. Should be dropping very soon. By the time this episode's out, it should be out.
Yeah, I got some stuff. Got some stuff for Halloween. Shout out. Got a track coming out for Halloween, you guys. This episode will probably be posted post that, but just to let everybody know, for Halloween, I got some shit. So let's get into our first story before we bring out our guest, sir. What do we got going, Mr. EUSTACE?
So we're gonna go with a little bit of movie news. The Richard Pryor biopic has been in the works for seemingly forever.
Developmental hell.
They originally had Eddie Murphy attached as Richard Pryor, then Marlon Wayans, then Mike Epps, and then it was just like up and down. It looked like it was going to be dead. But some big news is that Kenya Barris of Blackish and BlackAF fame is been signed on to not only direct the movie but also write it. So I think the fact that they're bringing a big name whose stock is going through the roof in Hollywood right now is a good sign for this movie to progress like it should.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for this film because Richard, listen, everybody who watches the show or anybody that knows me, Vince, anybody that knows me personally know that I myself am a professional stand-up comedian, and who better to idolize or who better to learn from or be taught from or to I don't want to say take from, but to be inspired by than the likes of the greatest, one of, if not the. I mean, let's be honest, he's been helmed as the Biggie Smalls of comedy, as the Jordan of comedy. A lot of people say no one does it better. And then pretty much I would say after him, everybody says Dave Chappelle, dude. It's just every
it's
time
kind of like when they say like your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, this is your favorite comedian's favorite comedian.
Your favorite comedian. And Dave Chappelle respects the hell out of Richard Pryor. I'm sure he does. I've heard him say it in many interviews. But if there's a lot of number ones for me, but if you were to talk about one of the definitive number ones, you would have to go with Mr. Richard Pryor. Now,
he's got a hell of a story. He's got like a hell of a story that's going to translate hopefully very well on the silver screen.
He does. And I will say, he's a little bit before our time. I didn't get wind of Richard Pryor till maybe the late 80s, early 90s, because I was a kid.
Was Superman 3, right?
Born. Well, no, maybe actually. No, I think one of the first things I remember seeing, and it actually came out before I was even born, was one of his films. I think it was like Bustin' Loose or Car Wash, or it was something he did back in the 70s that I saw like a rerun of, or it was on cable, and then I went from there. I saw some stand-up stuff, and just all through the 90s, just all the way up until he died, I learned about Richard Pryor, but he's a little bit before our time. His run was the 60s and the 70s, mainly the 70s, and right around the 80s, he was. By the time the 80s hit, he was a legend. He was already a legend, and was paving the way for people like Eddie Murphy. This biopic should be good. Listen, I don't know if people remember. I don't remember the exact year it came out. It might have been the early 80s. Richard Pryor actually did a film based on his life. It was loosely based on a life. It was called JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling, or something like that, or something about your life.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
It was called JoJo Dancer, and he played a character named JoJo Dancer who was a struggling comedian who was struggling, and at this point he was very open about it, who was struggling like abhorrently with drugs and alcohol. And I believe in the movie, much like he did in real life, I think there's a scene where this comedian sets himself on fire because he's so high. And Richard Pryor actually did that. It was a terrible situation. He survived, obviously. But Richard's got some demons. But they always say the people with the most demons are the most genius. So I must be Albert Einstein.
I don't think everyone's ever confused you for Albert Einstein.
Well, get with the program, because in about 5 years I'm gonna have a big gray mustache and wild fucking German hair.
Just because E equals MC squared doesn't mean the same thing when you're a square MC.
Oh, that's right. Was it what was it? I think it was Cameron that did this really cool punchline. Was it Cameron that said something? Oh God, no, it wasn't. It wasn't Cameron. It was a battle rapper. I think it was Sirius Jones that said something about squares, and it was a fucking dope. I can't think of it right now, and I don't want to butcher it. He says, I got it. He told this rapper, you know why you're out of shape? Because you keep a bunch of squares in your circle. I was like, oh shit, that's hard. You know why you're out of shape? Because you keep a bunch of squares in your circle. I was like, that's hard. I feel like
no offense to Serious Jones, I feel like he may have bit that from King Los. I definitely heard him do a pattern rap like that, like in his early mixtape days.
I doubt that highly. He said that bar was from a battle he did like 10, 15 years ago. So
yeah, I think the King Los mixtape was about 10, 15 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Maybe. You would know more about, but Los isn't. Well, Serious Jones. Well, no, actually, Serious Jones is actually he's pretty young. Serious Jones is like in his mid-30s, so maybe
it also very well
Los
could be just
Los
it could
is
be similar thinking as well, where it's like, oh, great minds think alike. So they probably just had like similar, like with comedians when they have like a similar type joke, they're not copying off each other. They just both thought the same thing.
No, listen, I've done it before. I've got many punchlines that I did not bite from rappers that are very similar to rappers, and I hear them, and I'm like, fuck, people are gonna think I bit that. and I'm like, I swear to God, I did. Like, I just have the same train of thought. But anyway,
now, real quick, going back
to
to the Richard Pryor thing. I think it is a big thing that Kenya Barris is on, but we have to also mention that when they've had big names attached before, and I'm not sure if they have a star attached yet, but in terms of directing, before they had Bill Condon, who's supposed to be reuniting with Eddie Murphy for their Dreamgirls reunion. Yep. And then they also had Lee Daniels, who was just killing it at the time. So they got big names who were like super interested. And it's like, all right, the ball's rolling. And then nothing happened. So as excited as I am about Kenya Barris jumping on, we've seen it before where big names have been attached and then nothing happens. So what are you thinking about this?
I mean, that's what it's called. And for people who do not understand what developmental hell is, it's when a production company or companies have an idea, or a writer has an idea, or a director or an actor has an idea, and they're trying to get it funded or distributed, and then they finally do, but the studio backs out, or a director backs out, or an actor backs out, so another studio picks it up, and then it's this continuing circle of developmental elements, they just cannot get it together to where they can actually green light the production. And there's a lot of movies that go through that a lot. And it's usually so many different variables why a film is in developmental hell, or a television show or a project. It's just because not everybody's on the same page. People drop out, people come aboard. Usually there's money issues as well, budgets. There's certain actors that ask for a certain amount, and they're just like, we're not giving you that. There's directors that are like, we want this amount. They're like, we're not giving you that. Producers drop out. It's just a complete utter mess with the developmental hell. I remember at one point even they considered Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon was a choice at one moment.
I totally forgot about that until you mentioned it.
Yeah, it was a toss up between him and Marlon Wayans for the longest time, and then they settled on Mike Epps. And I don't know if Mike Epps is still doing it. He was their definitive choice, but it seems like now they might even be switching up even with him.
Yeah, I feel like they might have to go with someone a little younger. Yeah, because I feel like the Mike Epps thing was like, yeah.
Which sucks, too, because Mike Epps was probably so excited. That's a dream project right there, dude. Especially if you yourself are a comedian and you look up to somebody like Richard Pryor. Like, I would love for somebody to approach me to play, I got a kind of a chunky face like he does, Tracy Morgan. I'd love to play Tracy and get a pack of Franks. A big pack of Franks. They don't know when they take a doodle. That's not a great Tracy Morgan impression, but I would love to play him, or somebody who's like, hey, we want you to play Eddie Murphy at some point. Or before we bring in our guests, I actually do have a dream project, Vince, I've told you about, that I want to play as far as a biopic, and it's not even a comedian. I would like to play, and we're going to put this out in the atmosphere now because I've been really wanting to do it because I think his story is intriguing, and my God, is he a terrifying, violent motherfucker, and what a life he's had. I would like to play. I would like to. Yes, you do. We've talked about this. I would like to play wrestler New Jack. Yes, you guys, the infamous, crazy, mass transit, beating up Gypsy Joe, throwing somebody 30 feet off a scaffold. The wrestler New Jack. That's who I want to play in a biopic. And I think you should help me endorse that.
Yeah. I forget. Who do we say I should be? I don't think we said who I should be.
Oh, just Incredible.
Just Incredible. That's right. Just Incredible. I'm going to shave my head.
You know what's scary? You kind of look like that motherfucker, dude. You're about the same size.
Yeah.
You guys are about the same height.
We're the same height.
About 5'11", 6 feet, yeah.
Yeah, we're both 6 feet. and I just have to pack on some pounds. That's about it.
I think with me, I think I'm actually taller than New Jack. New Jack I think is like 5'10". I'm about a good 6'1", 6'2". So I think I'd probably have to. He's a pretty fit guy too. I don't think I would have to lose all that much weight because I'm a pretty hefty dude. So maybe gain some weight.
I think I'd have to learn how to do a super kick with my left leg because I noticed Justin Credible would do the super kick with his left leg as opposed to his right.
You'd have to learn high flying shit too. He does a lot of fucking 360s and shit. I've seen him do it in WCW and in WWE.
Oh, we'll get a stunt guy for that.
But that's my dream, you guys. Help me help myself. Put that out in the atmosphere, all our fans, our PB fans. Well, maybe I'll start a Kickstarter and we can get this going. And maybe one day I could play New Jack.
Well, the way things are looking now, the New Jack movie starring LAREN and Maxar Moore will probably come out before the Richard Pryor movie starring anyone.
You make a good point. All right, folks. With that being said, the moment of truth has arrived.
Here we go.
This gentleman, you guys, I have known roughly, probably going on easily 6, maybe 7 years. We met doing what we both love to do, which is singing. Because you guys know, as much as I am a rapper, as much as I am an actor, as much as I am a comic, I am also a singer. And this gentleman is that as well. We've talked about collaborating. We never really had a chance to, but we spent a lot of time around each other. We've done a lot. We've hung out a lot. He'll tell you, we've painted the town red before, dude. We have just had so many adventures over the years, and I absolutely adore this guy. He's a very genuine dude, very talented, singer, songwriter, dancer, great guy. I'll let you bring him in, Vince. That's just my take on him because he's a friend of mine. I had to put him over like they do in wrestling. But take it from here, Vince.
Okay, yeah. So he is originally from Alaska, moved to LA to pursue his musical dreams. He is open for the likes of Brian McKnight, Kenny Lattimore, and Eric Benet, to name a few. He is currently working on his 3rd solo project, and once COVID is a thing of the past, he's going to start touring immediately. If he's ready, let's bring him in. DEAVION.
Where you at, son? There he is.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm building my studio out, yeah.
Is that your new single? Building my new studio out here. Is that your new single?
Something like that, man. How are you, bro? Thank you both for
man.
an amazing intro. I'm usually the other guy on the other side of the camera. It's good to be a guest.
Now, Devin, I appreciate you for being here, man. Me and you are really good friends. Fuck, how long have we known each other? At least, I feel like it's been at least 7.
It might be longer when I think about it. I think I met you year 1 or 2 of me being in that list. Might be on 7, 8 years.
That's what I'm thinking about. At least 7 or 8 years, bro. And
we met my mutual friend, Andre.
Yeah.
And technically, was it through Andy too, or just Andre? Was it Andy and Andre?
Okay, so I met Andre and his lovely wife Toya. I met them first. Oh yeah, he's got the solo. Cheers. You got 1, 2, Vince?
Yeah, 1, 2.
Cheers. Ow.
Hey.
So got a drink. They say it's bad luck if you don't drink after a cheers. Here on Popcorn and Booze. So I met Andre and Toya first. I think through Andy because they used to come to all his gigs, and then I think Andre told me about you, and I was like, well, bring that nigga through. We like more singers. I mean, anybody who can sing, you know, because Andre's an amazing singer. Toya's an amazing singer. I'm an amazing singer. I had to put myself over it a little bit. And you be killing it, bro. Remember that song? Remember that song, Fabulous? You be killing them. You be killing them. You be killing them. Great song. But that's how I met you, yeah. And that was, you were fresh from Alaska, bro. You were.
Fresh? I was a fob, fresh off the boat.
Yeah. And you brought that, and you've been cold ever since.
Oh, yeah.
But hit him with the shoulders. Go hit him with the shoulders. All right, man. So I'll have Vince open this up, but I mean, obviously, just tell us a little bit about yourself. I don't know, Vince, if you have a specific question you want to open with.
Oh yeah, man.
No, Dave. Yeah, just tell us a little about yourself. We'll use that as a springboard to
Start from the
conversate
beginning.
and ask some questions.
In the
Let's start from the
beginning,
beginning. Yeah.
there was.
In the beginning, there was the Earth. Yeah.
Right. No, okay, so it all kind of started when I was musically, I guess, or just in life in general. First of all, there's a lot of questions that people might have on their mind. Number one being, how do Black people end up in Alaska? Well, I'm happy.
I've wondered that myself, sir.
I know. Okay, so basically, both of my parents were military. My mom and dad met when they were very young. They were like 18, 19 or something. First out of high school. And both of their parents lived in Alaska already. So that's where my parents met. So just to let you know, 80 to, I don't want to say 90 because that's ridiculous. That's being very stereotypical. But I bet 70-80% of the Black people in Alaska are there because of the military. Either you were in the Air Force or the Army. I don't know, I put up from 1 to 3 fingers. That makes no sense. I probably switch the ring. Bing! We out here. Yeah, but yeah, that's really how Black people get up there. Is the military. So yeah. And I come from a very musical family, all singers almost. Everyone can think of it. And I always tell people, I was like, when I left Alaska, I felt like leaving Krypton because I thought everybody could sing like that.
Alaska certainly looks like Krypton.
Oh heck yeah! Oh, it's cold as hell. It's gotta be Krypton.
You know, it's funny.
I'm rebuilding my Fortress of Solitude. It's not going so well.
It's funny too because remember when I first met you and you told me you're from Alaska? I was like, nigga, I didn't know there was niggas in Alaska. I was like, what? You're the first, bro.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy. And it's a very common occurrence that to happen when I meet people like, wait, what? That's niggas out there? And it's like, what's even weirder is that the people don't even meet people from Alaska, period. Like you said, it's like, I'm like the first representation of Alaska for a lot of people. It's like, dang,
talk, bro.
That's got to be a mind fuck. Not only am I not what you expect to be from Alaska, I'm Black, and I'm like a giant. So it's like, they just building the freaking behemoths out there. It's crazy.
You are a tall ass nigga. You like what, about 6'5", 6'4"?
Yeah.
Oh.
You haven't met me.
Vince is like, oh, well.
Yeah,
he's a big. No, he's a big boy. He's a big boy. I'm pretty tall. He's taller than me, so you know he's tall.
I done put on, yeah. I done got wider too, so I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I don't know if ladies like it or not, but yeah, so that's how I've been doing music. I've been singing like since I was 5. We actually, me and my family said holiday season, I have like a plethora of Christmas carols I can just pull out on my hand and get you the moment because me and my family
nice.
carol every year together. Me and my mom, auntie, my cousins and my sisters and brothers all go out. Not door to door, but from like we'd go to like shelters and like at-risk youth homes, like like old folks homes. They sing, they love it. So it's a dope time. We never got paid though. I'm sure my mom and my auntie got paid. We never made no money off the game.
So you said, how long have you been out in LA?
Dude, it's been almost 10 years now, man. It's been a ride, bro. It's been a ride. Almost gave my hairline to this city, but I'm looking good now. I'm on that LeBron hairline plan. No, I'm just playing. I never want to be on that.
So D, to kind of follow up with Vince's question, what's your as far as the industry, what's your experience since you come to LA? What's your experience been out like out here?
Man, bro. Oh man. People here I thought I had a silver tongue. People here know how to finesse, bro. They will finesse on finesse on finesse. So I was saying 2 to 3 years I really found like my tribe of people that I feel like I can really trust and rock with. Obviously you being one of them, but we never worked music.
Thank you, sir.
we don't really.
No.
Experiences-
It's always been just a friendship. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I learned is that like, yeah, people are just using. And the crazy thing about it is that the irony is most people never get anywhere most times. Like I've never really had someone try to finesse me out of something and like 6 months later it's like, oh yeah, da-da-da's doing this. You just won a Grammy. It's not how the universe usually works. Like so even though my glow up's been gradual, I feel like I've definitely gone from good to better to best in a lot of ways. But yeah, this city, bro, people were literally. I thought like that smile on your face all the time when take your place thing was not as it was here though. Yeah, there's a lot of finesse.
Backstabbers.
Shoulders.
That's
Yeah.
true. When you say that like people who like do try to finesse you or sort of like con you out of stuff aren't the ones that really go anywhere. And I don't know. I think like you touched on it. It could be karma. I think it's also people like they get a reputation of being like, oh, watch out for that dude. He's a snake. And
dude, man, this industry circle is so small. Like, I was in a session today with a writer. I'm not gonna say any names, and he was just talking about because the irony is that like it's always this weird thing because it's like you're on your way up and people try to connect you on your way up. Then when you get up, people are trying to keep you down. So it's like you work with certain artists and they're trying not to give you your points on the back end. Come on, bro. Like I wrote the chorus, I wrote the verse. Like, where's my percentage, you know? And because every artist that's a major artist, when they literally put in, like if you do a record with them, they're always going to take a percentage, even if they didn't write a word on it. Like they're just always going to take a percentage. And that's kind of dependent upon your situation with the artist and all this stuff. But like artists will for sure try to finesse people out of records. You know what I'm saying? I'm not naming no names, but it happens more often than you think.
yeah. What would you say
No,
is
man,
the... Go ahead, Laren.
No, but no, I was just seconding Davion's notion, man. I was, as you know, I'm a music artist as well, man, and I'm actually gonna call some names, but during my tenure with Broken Complex, I always go back to that. It was a lot of stuff I wrote on, especially on that big album we did, and I just got no credit for it. Like it just went into the atmosphere, and I was kind of like, damn, I wrote a lot of the hooks. Most of that Broken Complex compilation album, I wrote a lot of those hooks. I was on 14. Oh, actually, no, there's about 14 tracks. I was on about 9 of them, and nothing, man. No credit. No, I wasn't even asking for money. It was just like, can I get a writing credit around this bitch? Like, so I feel you on that, dude. I feel you.
It's real, bro. It's real. But yeah, you gotta you really just gotta know that, what keeps me kind of going moving forward. It's just like, you know what, like if you keep your name and your nose clean enough, like you're gonna end up exactly where you need to be. You're gonna end up in the right room with the right people doing the right thing. I firmly believe that because,
Amen.
Yeah, man, I firmly believe that because I've literally, like just today, like I was in with a couple writers that I like wholeheartedly respect, and it was just cool because we had met in passing from other situations, and not only because no one necessarily knew me, but even if someone did know me, they didn't have anything bad to say about me. It was nothing but a great work experience. They brought in another person who I was really respected, so it's just good feelings when that happens. Like I have nothing against somebody and I have no reason to be shady, and that's another thing I would say I can attest to being personality wise, because like as Laren said earlier, it's like I'm a very genuine person. I didn't let LA change me. LA will make you want to do some dirty, shicey stuff just as also just retaliation for what's been done to you. But I'm just like, you know what, bro? It'll all sort itself out. Everything comes out in the wash, So,
Yep.
That's what 2020's been telling a lot of people. A lot of people's shit's been getting aired out. So
So you mentioned that you've been like working with some writers, and we touched on before you've opened for some pretty big names. Is there like a particular artist that you haven't worked with yet that's kind of like on your bucket list, or like your white whale that you're like, I want to work with that person?
Woo, 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 woo.
Well, you're on my bucket list. You're in front of me.
Right?
We can make that.
We can really get that shit done. Like, yeah, I'm not too far off. Yeah.
Bro, look here, look, I got the whole setup. It's right here. This is all. I got the whole thing. We can just pop. You can pop in here whenever you want.
Man. See
that. Yeah.
Shit like that excites me as a music artist. I see mixers and pianos and instrumentation and shit, and I'm like, yo, I'm ready to drop some vocals.
Let's go, man. Bro. Like before, when I said let's go, I didn't have no means of getting it done. But now I'm a lot further along. When the last real time we talked about let's go, other than like when you're on my show, but like other than that, yeah, like I've been working.
And we'll definitely get that in. But like Vince said, is there somebody maybe that's kind of out there, you know, bucket list wise, that you really do want to work with? Like, you know, you can get to me, but can you get to John Legend? Like, is there anybody, you know?
You know what's funny is that people would think I would want to work with John Legend. I really, if it happened, I'm not opposed to it. But someone that I really look up to musically is T-Pain. I've never stopped changing.
All right, T-Pain.
He's one of the him and like James Fauntleroy. If I ever get a chance to get into James Fauntleroy, which feels very tangible now that I'm saying it, so I'm very excited about that.
It's weird. I kind of get how do you pronounce the name? Fauntleroy? But like I get I got that vibe from you when I like checked out some of your stuff. So
James Fauntleroy?
Yeah. Like there's like just that sort of, I can't describe it, but like that vibe to it. Yeah. But it was great. So I could definitely see that.
I'm glad you feel that way. I really appreciate it.
Do you have like a certain, maybe not artists that you want to work with, but artists that have like influenced you in your sort of career and your journey in terms of like your sound?
Oh yeah. There's a funny story about like John Legend kind of thing. I've always been able to sing like his music effortlessly. Like I'm not sounding like him and stuff like that. So there's that. I'm a big Chris Brown fan. Obviously T-Pain. If I'm gonna reach back, Sam Cooke, Stevie Wonder, Tears for Fears. Like that. Toto.
Yo, did you say Tears for Fears, bro? I love
and Toto.
Tears for Fears, bro. That's so great. That's great, bro. I love Tears. Everybody wants to rule the world.
There was some big records, and not even just their record. They wrote a lot too. They were just really good. I like really good writer artists. I've noticed too, like people who are artists but they write for a lot of people because they're just that dope. I think they were a good representation of that. I really loved Kansas growing up. Carry on my wayward son. That's a crazy record. There'll be peace with you, I die.
That's an amazing song, by the way.
Yeah.
I noticed both you guys are Gavin DeGraw fans.
I had a couple weddings. I had a couple funerals. I mean, not weddings.
What was that, Vince? Sorry about that.
Oh no, I'll let you finish. Sorry, my fault for cutting off. It's hard to gauge when people start talking. Oh no, I noticed that both you guys are Gavin DeGraw fans because I know that because I saw that I think it was on your SoundCloud. It was either SoundCloud or YouTube. You do a Gavin DeGraw cover, and Laren, I know that you also do a cover for like auditions and stuff, like when you like or karaoke.
You literally did a deep dive. I forgot I put that out. Ironically, so you literally was in my SoundCloud deep, and I respect that, sir.
Yeah, that's research, man. Listen, that's what we do on the show, bro. We take care of our guests.
Y'all trying to come for a hot one. Well,
if I could one day be what's his name?
Nardwuar.
Yeah, Nardwuar. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
No one can touch Nardwuar. Like he's like, oh, here's a vinyl of your father when he used to play bass for Jimi Hendrix, and you're like, what? How did you know this?
Right? Mark's like, look, here's a picture of your first cat when you were 2.
Yeah, bro. I think he has autism or something because that's like a superpower. He's gotta be on the spectrum.
No, he might be on the spectrum. He very well.
That's hilarious. He might have autism. That's a wow. I don't want to make fun of autism, but the way you said that is funny, dude. That's hilarious.
Ironically, I'm actually saying that from a perspective of I work in the field, so that's why I wasn't trying to be funny. I was just thinking about.
No,
like,
I didn't take.
You pick up on, and there's nothing wrong. It's funny. But
I didn't take it as that. I took it as like, oh, you probably just made an observation, and we're like, yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, but I don't mean to throw you off plan. But you don't know. I just recently started. I'm in ABA right now, right? Behavioral health and stuff like that. So I work.
I don't think you told me that.
No, because when you were on my show,
I don't know about that.
I was just over.
No, yeah.
That's a cat. He's got pussy in his face, literally.
I see a cat.
This is Buster. Buster, get out of here.
See them girls roll, and it looks like
the ass is just swollen.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun. Hey Buster, get them girls rolling. Dun dun. And it looks like. All right, that's enough of that. I love that song.
But no, like
it's funny.
I've been learning, like everybody's kind of on the spectrum in a way. I feel like I am too, because I have moments where I'm just like socially awkward for no reason, believe it or not, and I feel like there'll be something to that. But that guy is just like,
nigga, I've known you for years, nigga. You ditzy as fuck. I was just telling bitch like this is my nigga, but this nigga space is out, bro. But that's what makes you special.
Yeah,
that's what. That's
a lot of creative types were like that.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Like I've come up with the best lines in my career musically out of a nap or like passing out somewhere, and I just wake up. I was, oh, this feels like it's
in my car.
Yeah.
In one of those, I'm sure a couple of those moments happened. And you crashed out in my car. Us out late.
Out late. Brass Monkey. What we said? Brass Monkey.
Brass Monkey.
What you call it?
Saddle Ranch. We did Saddle Ranch. Sunset a few times. Big Wings.
We used to hit the one up here in Burbank too.
The
Barney's, the other one. No. The other one. It's
Barney's. No, but
the other one in the plaza one next to the Bank of America.
Which one is that? When? We did that? Where's that at? You said Burbank?
There he opened it.
Why can't I think of that right now? That's crazy.
I feel like
thinking about,
and then Little Rock.
We used to do Little Rock, definitely. That's where, Little Rock. And then we used to go to all of Andy's gigs, like Big Wangs and all that shit, dude.
Fuck up Big Wangs. I'm still trying to get at Harmony, bro. Harmony will not give me the time of day.
Merloni, yeah. She ain't giving you low juice, huh? None, right?
So I got to shift. Who's Harmony?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh God, a very gorgeous girl.
But even if she does, she already knows the vibes. She already knows. I've left her. I've been such a step for this girl. Like it's kind of sad. Like
you used to try to get at her tough, bro. You used to, I remember every time she was there, bro, this nigga would just be all up in her grill. I was like, Devin, like
super simping. Unequivocal simping. And I don't care.
You would sip like a motherfucker. And wouldn't give a shit. Would not give had no fucks to give.
To this day. I'm still saying I called her drunk. I called her drunk the other night, like a week or two ago. I was like, you know what? I heard this song.
Oh my God, Devin, slow down. Please don't be stalking this woman, dude.
No. Slow down. I feel like she keeps me close enough, and that sounds like
yeah.
She keeps me just close enough to be like, oh, I'm a gush on you, tell you how much I really want to be with you. Then you won't respond. She's like, because she sent me some random text like, oh, I think, you would like this guy's name's Givian. He reminds me of you. Like, why would you send that to me knowing I'm gonna respond?
Right?
Like, you know I'm gonna be. I'm like, oh man, no, it's not a thing. But one thing about me,
but you know,
about is that you can admit this too. You can attest this. Every time we would do a duet, bro, we would not only shut it down. People like they gotta either be fucking or together because our chemistry when we sang together was crazy, and that's what fucked me up.
You and Harmony, yeah.
Have you guys ever done a track together or?
No, we not done music either. She's kind of like stepped away from music, which sucks. But I can't. I can't tell anyone to live that life. Because she's from a musical family too, but her dad was kind of like hardcore. So she kind of like left a bad taste in her mouth, but she's dumb talented. She has one of the best voices I've ever seen. She's like
no, she could definitely sing. She's good. She's got pipes. And I remember she used to host a couple gigs for Andy. I'm pretty sure knowing Andy the way I know Andy, I'm sure Andy was on her tough too.
Oh yeah,
I know he was.
Like her too. She never gave him the time of day because he wanted it, but she wouldn't give it.
No. Andy used to try. I used to witness it, and she wasn't with it. But he used to use her as a host and try that avenue, and that didn't work. But no, she used to shut it down, man. I remember she I usually get enamored or really humble when really good singers compliment me about my singing. Like anytime you've ever told me, yo, Laren, you killed that shit. I'm like, you see a black man blush. You never seen a black man blush. Listen, y'all both know me. I'm cocky and confident as fuck about all my shit, dude. Comedy, rapping, singing, I am the most self-conscious about. And when I get somebody to tell me, yo, Laren, you did a good job, I'm always like, oh my God, really? Seriously? So she told me that one night and I almost melted, bro. I was like, God damn, really? She was like, you did that really good.
You can't tell me.
I was like, Harmony!
Right.
I was like, Harmony! I was like, oh my God, Harmony, thank you. Woo. But no, she's an excellent talent, man. I tried to work with her as well, and it just never worked out because just timing wise, a couple of years ago, me and my and I might have even told you about this at one point. A few years ago, me and my older brother were trying to start a like an independent label, and it didn't work out. But I was like, I told my brother, I was like, yo, he was the CEO. I was like, I know this really good female singer. She could shut it down. And she was interested about joining the label, but it just never popped off. And I had to end up apologizing to her because I was like, I had invited her to the studio. And I just felt really bad it didn't work out. And I didn't want her to think, oh, this nigga just trying to get at me and trying to use music as a catalyst. And I was like, no, I told her, I was like, that's not it at all. Like, I really appreciate you as an artist. No, I was like, no, I had to reassure her that I was like, no, this is, she didn't accuse me of that, but I didn't want her thinking that. So I had to apologize. I was like, look, I really just respect you as an artist. That's it.
I hope she would accuse me. I'd tell straight up, yes. That was my point. I have no
Now, to tail off to what Vince had asked you a little bit earlier about the people you've opened up for. Out of all the people you've opened up for, Eric Benet, who else was it? It was Eric Benet,
Brian McKnight. Do I ever cross your mind?
Out of all the people you opened for, these are some big names. If we're talking about R&B,
I keep forgetting Bobby Valentino and Bilal.
And Bobby Valentino.
Oh, okay.
If we're talking about people like Bobby Valentino, Brian McKnight, Eric Benet, those are the heavy hitters of R&B music. How was it opening for those acts? How did you feel?
And
what was the experience like? Like, tell us, and give us a feel of what took place.
One thing I would say I'm fortunate about in LA is that like you can see guys like those in small clubs. Just catch them on the right night. And that's basically what I would do. Like it'd be a night where they'd be at like a Zen Lounge or like a R&B Live, and I'd already be on the bill, and they'd be like, "Oh, da-da-da's gonna be here," and then like now you get to kick it with them, and you're singing with them, and like sometimes it's like, "Yo, your voice is amazing," and that like you said, like when you get recognition from dudes that you like respect, you're like, "Bro, you're fucking crazy." It's just like you like put you on like a high like no other. So on nights like those, I'd be really fortunate to be and sharing that same space with those guys. But it's different, man. Everybody I mentioned was cool. Bobby Valentino I didn't really get to talk to him much, but Yeah,
Hey, that nigga's like 5'2", isn't he? He's a little dude. Isn't he?
That's probably why you didn't want to talk to me.
Oh, because as tall as you are, right?
I'm joking. That probably had nothing to do. I don't even think we saw each other that night. I think we were just in and out, and it was just like we were in passing. But yeah, man, LA has been a blessing, bro. Like I've definitely learned. I even sang for Denzel. I did not. I still trip off that. Like Denzel was in the building.
Washington?
Yeah.
Washington? Oh, wow.
The one and only, the Denzel. So that was a crazy night. I never got to ask him how I did. I don't think I did that well anyways, but I was definitely enamored. He's a really cool guy, though. Really cool guy. So, yeah, man. So it's like LA is a very good place to, like, sink or swim. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I never really sank, but in these 10 years, I've definitely been, like, doggy paddling, treading water. I'm just now starting to get my stroke down. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Well, I really enjoyed. Like obviously, I saw a lot of your stuff and I liked all of it. But like, I think the first thing I saw was something Laren sent me was the video for. I apologize if I get the name wrong. I think it was "Don't Let Me Go," and yeah, and I was like, oh. Wow, this is great. Like, this is actually really good. And like, I don't know you, so I was like, if I didn't know you, I'd be like, oh yeah, like you did good. It was good to tell us more about this. But I was actually like, this is good. Like, I think the production of it was great. Your voice was like phenomenal, and even just like the dancing you were doing in it was just like, it was just very organic. It wasn't like, I mean,
it was like it was forced. It was just me.
yeah. So like, it was like all really good, but something that I noticed, and maybe music videos are still doing it, but I feel like it's sort of something that used to be done back when we grew up watching music videos. I liked it on the video before that one. You did a video that had 2 songs. So you started with the one, and then you ended with, I think, My Fault, I think was the name of it. Yep. And it kind of gave me like, it reminded me of like old Usher videos or 112 when they would like put 2 songs in and it kind of like, yeah, exactly. Missy would do it too, where they kind of tease you with that.
That's a very late 90s, early 2000s thing they used to do, where it would start with one single and then the video would transition into the second single.
And I love that. Like I eat that stuff up. Is that like something you're doing like intentionally? Is that something anymore. That you're like, let me just drop this at the end?
All the credit for it, but yeah, that was intentional. Basically, all those videos and were supposed to tie together. It was all supposed to be like a whole storyline that all ended back where it started. That was the whole premise. So that was a very intentional thing that we did. That was really cool too, because of the way, like, I think that one's one of my better videos, just because like the storyline and everything I kind of came up with the samurai swords and stuff like that. Dear Life is a trip. Yeah, I love Dear Life. So it was like the whole album, really, if you go back and listen to it. Shout out to anybody who's listening to Clean Slate. If you haven't, please go check it out. It's a great album, Clean Slate.
Where can they find that album?
Huh?
Where can people find that album?
All
shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Right? Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal.
Nice.
YouTube.
Oh, Tidal, nice.
I'm out here.
Do they just Devin, do they just search Davion? DEAVION.
DEAVION space Clean Slate. The whole album should pop up. I did on Apple Music recently, so you can find on Apple Music. You can find it anywhere. That's the most Caucasian streaming platform they have. They don't like to spell black names.
Caucasian.
So,
right.
Now is Tidal is I remember when Tidal came out, they were like, oh, this is for the artists. Like they'll be getting more. So like, is that true? Like, would it help if? Granted, I don't have Tidal, but if I had Tidal, would it be better to stream through there?
I don't know that it's gotten me any more streams or money or any of that stuff, but I'm definitely that I'm still learning about, man. The back end stuff is a monster.
Now, what would you say? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was about to say, and then I've not been able to navigate that properly. So get management. Tell anybody anything, get good management. Lord knows I need help.
What would you say? And it could be from like bigger names or just like someone like sort of like on your same like current level. What would you say is probably like if you don't mind sharing, the best advice that you've gotten in terms of being in this industry?
Oh man, best advice I've gotten. That's a good question. I'm trying to think of someone I know personally.
Yeah. And I apologize. I realize if someone asked me that question, I'd also be like, I don't know.
I think it's like an all-encompassing thing, and it's kind of like no one's particularly said it to me directly. I've definitely read books, and they say it all the time, and I'm sure a very common quote, but I've seen people live it, and the way they tell me stories and the way they react to certain things shows it. I'll say, don't take anything personally. The reason why that's so important is because, like, just because this didn't work out for you doesn't mean that won't. Or just because, like prime example, the craziest thing I can tell you, this is funny, you guys are but it just happened. I was in a situation, I went up north to kick with my family, got too smashed, fucked up on, lost my phone. Come to find out, I was asking my brother, bro, if you got my phone, if you see my phone, Because he's the last person I was with. I was in his car, right? He's like, nah, bro, I ain't seen it. You don't got it. I was like, all right, cool, bet, whatever. You don't got it, whatever. Come to find out, I'm halfway. I drove. So I drove 6 hours there, 6 hours back, halfway into getting back. Come to find out, my sister, he calls my sister and lets me know, oh, I found his phone. I sent it in the mail. Mind you, this is Sunday, so I'm 1, 2, and he said 3-day mail. Don't get the phone back till Wednesday. Come to find out, Wednesday comes, I had a call from a network. Well, not a network. I got a call from this choir that I sing in called Raise, who's going to be on I can't say what show it is, but they're going to be on a nationally televised show. And I was a shoo-in to be a part of the situation. Since I didn't have no phone for the last 3 days, I got kicked off the gig. So, it just happened. It's so fresh, like 2 days ago fresh. So now I could be like, oh, okay, I'm going to be either mad at my brother, I'm going to be mad at myself, I'm going to be mad at the situation and get mad at them. Well, why didn't you guys wait? You know what I'm saying? No, but I can't take any of that personally because sometime I'm going to need my brother again. The guy who I was more apologetic because the guy who vouched for me, put my name in there, now he's looking stupid because I haven't been in contact with him for 3 days. And he's like, nah, bro, it's okay. I feel really bad. But, like, you know, so we'll definitely keep in mind for the next thing. So now for me, if I were to take that personally and be like, screw the situation or get frustrated about it, who's to say what else is coming down the pipeline with that situation? You know what I'm saying? You can't get so caught up in like, oh, and another thing too, like I got a record. We were pitching, me and my homies were pitching this song. We were literally in competition with another one of our friends for the record because we had produced 2 different songs for the same track. And then like they ended up going on with the other track. I was like, all right, cool. If I want to take that person, I can get mad at the other guy and never want to work with them again, or you know, just little things and little nuances, or the guy who ended up sending the other track instead of sending our track because he said he liked it better. I could get mad at him for that. But like, why take something like that personal when there's one you don't know people want, you can't control anything. But if you keep your name in right standing with people, people know that like you, not a lot of shit bothers you and you're okay and you're very malleable and you're very understanding. Like it goes a long way. So you never know what is it? George Clooney got over I don't know how many no's from Hollywood or something crazy like that. Like he had like 30 something, 20 or 30 pilots he had done. He had literally shot shows and didn't know him go anywhere. And now he's George Clooney. You know what I'm saying? So if he didn't have good energy in the room when he was in those situations where he was like, I'm sure at around pilot 26, he probably pissed like this shit wasn't going, but you know what I'm saying? You always gotta keep your level head and just know that your time is coming because
especially in this industry, man, you got to take a lot of things with a grain of salt because there are a lot of people who get bad news and they just give up, or they just quit. They just like it's never gonna happen. And I know the feeling of being defeated. You know, I think I told you this story on your show, dude. I literally worked with an A&R who was part of Interscope, and they were an A&R for 50 Cent. And this nigga told me straight up, over the phone. He told me to basically told me, look, I think you're mad talented. He told me this and my manager. He was like, look, I think your boy is talented. I think he's a really good lyricist, good artist. He said, but unfortunately, I cannot work with him right now because I'm too busy with 50 Cent's. I think he was doing the Massacre album at the time, which was his second album. And bro, I was in my 20s, bro. I was so crushed. But I had to also think to myself, well, this nigga wasn't even supposed to be telling me that. So that I at least left knowing that he really did think I was talented. Because no A&R is supposed to tell you, oh, I can't work with you because I'm working with a big artist and give you that type of insight. So I hear what you're saying. I could have popped off. I could have been like, nah, nigga, fuck you. That's fucked up. I could have at that point stopped listening to 50 Cent's music.
Yeah, right.
I got that news, bro. And was listening to the Massacre the next day because I was just like, yo, it is what it is. It is what it is. So I know the feeling, bro. It's especially when you're promised something monumental and it just doesn't happen. But it's all about timing. It really is.
Now, Davion, let me ask you. You seem like a very humble, easygoing guy, and I know Laren has said as such. So when stuff like this happens, do you find it easy to sort of let it go and not take things personally, or was that something that you had to adjust to?
I've never really been a quote unquote grudge holder. Now, if it's I don't know, there are certain things that if I was in a situation, I know what I'd do. If I wrote a record and it became a big record and I knew for a fact that I didn't get none of the points on it or any of that stuff, I had to hear it all the time, that would be probably a really hard pill to swallow. But a lot of situations that I let roll off my back, they all fizzled out anyway. It's I don't know, I just don't feel like you don't get rewarded for being shady or shiesty, so it's gonna be what it's gonna be. So I really haven't.
Some people.
Yeah.
some unfortunately in this industry, some people do though. That's crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's some people that win hard, but it's just I don't know if those people have issues sleeping at night or what they believe in, but I don't know me, man. I have ask this brother. I'm tired now. I have no problem sleeping at night because of the way I live my life.
This nigga said, I'm tired now.
You know what I mean? So I just take that on with everything with a grain of salt. And I've got friends who are a lot like me, who are a lot further along, but they keep their energy clear. And it's it just lets me know that the way I'm going about things is confirmation by watching. I don't say always good at a mentor because it's confirmation by how with their life. So there's nothing wrong with the way you're going about it. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick, I do want to ask. We'll ask a couple more a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. But I do want to ask who, as far as family wise, because we already kind of asked who your inspirations are musically, that as far as famous people or celebrities or people that came before you and I.
Flag in the back. Let me adjust this. Y'all can see that.
There you go.
Thickness of this Alaska flag.
You already know my favorite part of that flag is those stars.
Everyone loves stars. We're one of the only states in the union that actually has stars, I think. Multiple stars.
But who's one of your
flags that have that many ever in the world? We got 8 stars, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, look at my counting skills. I spitballed that. I did not even count it. This is the Big Dipper. What were you gonna say though?
No, I just wanted to know who, as far as outside of the industry, who family wise and loved one wise is your biggest inspiration?
Hands down, my cousin. He's one of everyone's inspiration. He's okay, so I actually flew back up to as Vince makes his way to the toilet. He's got to use the bathroom.
You weren't supposed to say nothing about that. He do look like he walking to the bathroom though.
Weeks ago. No,
he's getting another beer.
I like it. Come on, Vince Scully. All right. No, so Michael, my cousin Michael, because he was
you still got that tequila on deck?
Oh, bro, all day. I'm
You
actually
still got your you got the but we read Covenant, nigga.
solo or nah, bro. Solo cupping or not. No, yeah. So my cousin Michael, he's always been like, he's only a couple years younger than me, but like I remember being in church and he would sing "Eyes on the Sparrow" and he would have people toe up. So I would be doing vocal agility.
His eyes on the sparrow. That's a hard song to sing too. You gotta have some pipes for that song.
Murder cat. And then like as he got older, he just got better. And then like he got into the drug game. So like he was like trying to move kilos and all that stuff, you know, and just doing all that talent, you know what I mean? He's been doing a lot better, but he was in a situation where he might have been, well, he still might be under investigation for a Fed case. But
Whoa.
went up to Alaska and helped him record some things. Like, bro, the world needs to hear your voice. His voice is amazing. So it's just like he's like a staple in our family. Everyone knows it's like he's actually opened up for Snoop before. He's opened up in Alaska too. He opened for Snoop, opened up for a couple other cats too in Alaska. So he's done his own thing and he's been doing it really well. So, and my little brother,
that's dope.
My little brother's a beast. Even though like we've had our moments, I cannot knock that brother. He's talented. He's super talented.
I think it's great that you say that your cousin is one of your inspirations, because and that's another thing me and you have in common as artists, as music artists too, because it was actually my cousin, my female cousin, and she's not even a singer, she's not an artist, she's not an entertainer, but because she would leave and give me music growing up back in New York, even when we came out here to LA. One of my biggest musical inspirations is my cousin Sudia, man, who's a little older than me. She used to let me. She used to have a shoebox, bro. Remember the shoebox with the cassette tape? I don't know if you remember that, Vince.
Yes.
But
yeah,
my cousin used to have a shoebox full of cassette tapes, bro. Yes, I'm old enough to remember cassette tapes, and I would put my Walkman in as a little kid. Bro, I was like 5, 6 years old, and I would go in her room, and she wouldn't be there. But she would leave it out for me because she knew I loved music growing up, especially as a kid. I mean, obviously all the way till now. And I would just literally sit for hours, bro, and listen to cassette tapes. I would listen to Belle Biv DeVoe. I listen to Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em, Kid and Play, Rakim, Eric B. I can go on to Third Base. Like, she had it all, bro. I can go on and on. From hip hop to New Jack Swing. That's all I would listen to for hours. And it really helped molded me as an artist. And then eventually it went from cassette tapes to she would let me bump her CDs. She'd have a stack of CDs in the shoebox. And it's just literally like just the CDs. They were all scratched up. She would just leave them out the case, didn't give a fuck anymore. Just bunch of CDs in a case. But it's funny you say that, man, because she's my inspiration. And she's not even an artist. It's just she helped mold me as a music artist with the stuff she provided for me. And so I always thank her. So I feel you on that, dude. I think that's great.
She nurtured it. Yeah, she nurtured it for you. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's dope,
Absolutely,
man. That's big.
Vince, did you have any more?
Trying to think.
Any follow up questions as we take this interview home?
What is? There's more of a curious thing. Like, it might not even be a song that I've heard. But like, do you have like a certain song of yours that you're like, oh, this is my, for now, not signature song, but like this is my favorite thing that I've done?
Yeah, and I haven't even released it.
It's an exclusive, bro. It's an exclusive. What you can premiere it right here on Popcorn and Booze.
Oh shoot! I wish y'all would have let me.
I was gonna say you can play it. You can play it right now if you want to. If you want to make it exclusive, bro. This is the show to do it on, nigga.
I would say yes. That would be ideal, but I don't know if the music would carry over on the Zoom meeting.
Sound quality, yeah.
Yeah, because I know we tried to do that with the X-Pac theme, and it was like, we can barely hear.
We did.
Okay, cool. He knows the tech about it. But one day.
But tell us about it. Tell us about this passion song this is
the most epic.
Tell us about it.
It was such a good song. I used to cry whenever I listened to it for like the first couple of weeks after I recorded it. And I'm not a crier. It's not like crying, but like, you know, that Denzel glory tear.
Yeah, I was about to say the Denzel glory tear. That's the first thing I thought of too.
The one single tear that stopped right here. It would not go anywhere else.
But that's definitely the thing. So it's called Sleep at the Wheel. It's just one of those songs when I wrote it, I was like, dang, bro, this is like because it's not like, it doesn't have a happy ending. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like a fun story. So it's like basically Sleep at the Wheel is about me being in a relationship and not realizing that it's been over for some time. And like by the time you realize it's gonna be done, like you're already crashing. Like there's no recourse. Like it's just now it's beyond you. You know what I mean? So it's like because of the whole concept was like I was gonna see it with some friends of mine. They were like, "Yo, Dev, you're falling asleep at the wheel of your relationship," and that was literally from that moment. And that's deep because really what it was is like we were driving this car called our love, and we didn't realize, you know, how badly we were mismanaging the whole situation on both ends. You know what I'm saying? You just get caught up in like the the idea of love can sometimes fuck up your love because now you're worried about the idea and actually putting in the work to make the love work. You know what I mean? So by the time we realized how fucked up it was already too fucked up for us to fix it. Basically, that's the premise of the song. Super.
Yeah. That sounds like pretty relatable. I know you mentioned in your bio that like a lot of your stuff is in terms of like internal stuff and being relatable to other people. So that definitely sounds like that. I did want to ask you actually, I forgot about this. You host a show on Wednesday nights. It's Wednesday Live Vibe.
We're about to rebrand it. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Cool.
I've been on hiatus the last couple of weeks. I haven't even telling. I just that been. But yeah, it's a really
great
cool
show too, man. I was a guest.
You'll be a guest again.
Damn it,
you'll be a guest in the rebrand.
And well, see, when you rebrand the new one, nigga, I want we gonna do it Steve Harvey style. We gonna do it Steve. What he say? What that hard say? We gonna do it Steve Harvey style, man. We gonna do the sit down interview, son.
Hell yeah. I got the location.
Tell us a little about.
So this is
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Linking with my friends. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to be musical or anything like that. It's super like sitcom. You sit down, you talk. We can get into life. We can get into politics. We can get into just music, like whatever the vibe is what we just pretty much do. It's very similar to the way we did the show today with you all. Which was cool.
It's funny too. So to the cap on that, actually, Vince, as to co-sign what you asked. When I was on, and I've seen other artists that you've interviewed, I noticed a lot of, like you said, politics. A lot of you being an African American man, me being an African American man. We spoke a lot about the racial climate, about the BLM movement, about everything that's going on. And I actually, before we end this interview off, I actually want to ask you that because we talked about it briefly on your show, and like I said, I've seen you talk to other artists about it. What is your definitive opinion, man, on this? Not only our president, the political aspect, the elections that are coming up. What is your opinion on racial relations right now, man? Being an African American in America. What's your opinion? I really like to know, because here on Popcorn and Booze, Vince will tell you we this is a very race related show. We speak on it, obviously from a progressive standpoint, and I always like to get people's opinion on the climate. What's the climate like to you?
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, first of all, you asked my opinion four times and cut me off every time I was about to give it.
Listen. Listen.
That was hilarious.
I gotta be diligent. I gotta be diligent about my questions, man.
I really need you to tell me how you feel. But no, seriously.
I gotta get it all out.
No, you're my favorite, bro.
Nigga, this is my show. This is I do what I want on my show. I just got jail and I ain't going back. It's gonna be chitty chitty bang bang, nigga.
We didn't land on
No,
Plymouth
but
Rock.
yeah, go ahead.
It landed on us. No, I'm just playing. No, but seriously,
Hey, listen,
no, that's a good
listen. Vince will tell you. Yeah, he'll tell you. I get real passionate about that, bro. So yeah, you know.
As you should. So first and foremost, everybody vote. I voted today. I can show you my voting sticker. Actually, I was thinking about going to grab it real quick. I already did my. I actually walked up there. I just did the early ballot, early voting. So that's important. Do I think voting matters? I'm still 50-50, bro. I think the local government is more important than the presidential because what happens in your local government affects everything else. So making sure you understand I'm actually gonna do like an Instagram blurb because I have a list. Me and my sister went and sorted through all the different questions, and there's a lot of stuff people are voting on this year that they don't even know it can affect a lot of things. Like they're trying to get rid of affirmative action. They're trying to not have they're trying to like stop what's it called? The housing what the fuck is it called? Basically, you know, when you can't the housing cap basically, like they can't charge you too much, whatever.
Rent control. They're doing the rent control.
Rent control over 15 years, like you're kind of screwed. Like they're just trying to fuck us, basically. So the more you know, the more you grow. So it's like I think people really got to read these questions really carefully and vote accordingly. And now on that, do I think the racial climate the tension's been higher than it's ever been? Oh hell yeah. The thing about it is that George, like I said, George Bush is not a martyr. He was a catalyst. But the only reason he was a catalyst is because Americans were at home. Americans were at home and they were forced to watch it. It was like putting a white person's head in front of a TV screen and just saying, look, for like hours on end. Because that's been happening so often. Like I even talked about it on my show. I was like, bro, like I have a family member who died 5 years before George Floyd, and no one even knows his name. He was not televised. He got shot in the back 6 times by a police officer while running in South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? It's a very different conversation for me when you literally had to look at a family member in a casket who was like only a year difference in age, which makes you think, bro, this literally could be me. Because I've seen my family member that.
Bro, I remember you telling me when I was on your show that a cop pulled a gun on your mom's, man, on some crazy, on some old dumbass shit. Like,
and she was just
what the fuck was that all about, bro?
He was in Alaska. She walked up to the car. I think something had happened. I don't know if something had happened and since like someone that got in a car accident or something. It's like she's trying to tell the cop you need to help him, and then he got startled. And he pulled his gun at her at the window. It's not even like crime like that, so you need to be pulling your gun out like that, anyways, bro. It's like they're just so trigger happy. They have just one recourse for every action. So,
yeah.
man, it's like, bro,
yeah.
If you're a kid, right? Okay. If you're a kid and your parents give you a BB gun, if you shoot someone with that BB gun, or you shoot yourself with that BB gun, what's gonna happen? You're gonna get that BB gun taken the fuck away. We need to start doing the same shit with these cops. If you have a history of not being able to handle yourself with a fucking firearm, you may not need to have that firearm, bro. Because you're tripping, obviously. You got other tools you can use. Batman had a utility belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, figure the fuck out, bro. Because it's like we can't replace human life.
Leave it to Devin. Leave it to Devin to bring Batman into a socially conscious. Even Batman had a utility belt.
Right? You got other options, bro. Use them.
Oh, God, bro. No, but you're right, man. You're right. There's that is an interesting metaphor. It's like you have a taser, you have a baton, you have pepper spray. Why the fuck is the first thing you're reaching for that pistol? The most deadliest thing you have. Are you that anxious to kill somebody? Like, I don't get that. I don't get it either.
It's super wild. And like the more when you really try to unpack it, like even the fact of like I was listening, bro, I literally can't listen to the radio because I get so frustrated. There are people literally right now incarcerated for crimes that they can't get out of jail for, and all the evidence stacked into their innocence prove that they weren't guilty in the first place, and they have to go through so many channels to prove that they're innocent when they know they never did the crime. These people been there for like 5, 10, 15, 20 years. in jail for wrongfully accused. And they even said it on the radio station that it happens to black and brown people 50 to 60% more than
all the time. All the time, yeah.
Like we were
All
just
the time.
in jail, like basically like. And then people ask me stupid questions like, "Why don't you want to see 12 years a slave?" I was like, "Bro, because we're still living it. Because that's all they do. They're wrongfully accusing people of crimes and they're putting them into jail where they're doing free labor, which is what slavery. Come on, bro. Like we're still living 12 years a slave. But yeah, it's an interesting world. I'm just doing my best to just realize that that like there is some good that's come out of it. Like the way I don't get looked at as crazy on the streets by random white people. They usually have a little bit more empathy for me. Oh, they've really been
white people still look crazy at me. I still get looks from white people. I ain't got that luxury. I'm 6'1", 240 pounds, nigga. They like, look at this nigga about to stab somebody or choke somebody the fuck out. This big nigga right here.
I'm a big boy now.
You bigger than me, height wise, definitely. So, no, man, I agree, man, and thank you for sharing that view on it, man, because I think it's important for people to understand the perspective of brown and black people, especially black people, because we hands down are probably the most persecuted out of all minorities, and I think it should be brought to the light at all times by any person of color how we feel towards this racial crime.
America got away with America got away with a 200-year Holocaust, and is still getting away with a fucking 200-year genocide of black people. Like
400 at this point.
Destroyed us, and now they're getting away with just picking us off piece by piece. So it's just like with no reparation. Like even the Jews get reparation, even the
everybody except black people ain't getting
like,
nothing, bro.
Like, are we that much of a threat? Like you can't give us a little bit? Like I don't know. Yeah, it's a trip,
and the poor Indians, the poor Indians. They're not even here. I don't mean to laugh about it, but it's like at least black people were enslaved. They just wiped the Indians out. They didn't give a fuck.
They were just like, we can't use you guys for anything else. Yeah, you guys can just go.
They killed them, bro. So that's where we're at, man. Vince, you got any wrap up questions, and then we're gonna.
No. I think that's. I actually feel like that's a good spot to sort of end things on. We're sort of getting to that time anyway, and I definitely wasn't going to cut you guys off talking about that. I didn't want you guys to be like deep into like be like, hey, enough. We're out of time. We gotta go.
Vince did not want to be that white person. Interrupted two niggas. Interrupted two niggas talking about social racial issues. I'm like, oh. Hey, Vince, smart move, my friend. Way to go.
He was sipping tea hard. He was like, I don't know nothing about that.
No, because there was stuff that was like, oh, no, you're right. And I was like, I could add. I'm like, no, I can't add anything. I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to say exactly what you guys are saying in different words. So I'm just going to sit and listen. And I think it was important you guys talk about it as well.
But people understand, though, bro, for us to get real change, we got to get more Vinces of the world. We got to get more allies, bro, because the allies is what's going to make it really, like, break the real change.
That was the point I was going to make, man. Vince's defense. In Vince's defense, man, he actually speaks very highly on equality. So he makes good points when he does add to things like that. Now, granted, he made the right decision. Not say anything, but knowing Vince, he would have said some very poignant things. So
I feel like when I speak about it, it's like I need to speak to like other white people or people who don't quite understand, and that's when I should use my voice. But like when two black men are talking about it, it's like, all right, here's a point where I should just listen and take everything in.
Educate. Yeah. Hey, B. Before we finish your point, and then I'll get to what I'm going to say. But finish your point.
I think that's what it takes. It's like having the conversation, and really genuinely hearing, because like black people haven't been heard for years. It's just like we keep telling people the same thing, and no one's really hearing it. I'm like,
nobody's listening
until you live it, because people love to visit the Black experience, but like when you can't run from it, it's a very different life you're living. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, Laren, you've been in situations as much as I have, where like you try to not make people uncomfortable just because you're a size. Like I'm just me. I'm a very genuine, loving, like heartfelt person, but like the looks that I get from people on the street and the way people treat me just because of what I look like is crazy. I was like, the best way to describe being a Black man in America is like walking around as if you were a fucking dragon. Because people always walk up on them and breathe fire when you're literally just trying to say hey, and just they're running across the street like you're a fucking monster. It's like, bro, I'm like, I don't know what your deal is. I'm just trying to get coffee. We are in Starbucks.
No, it's a known fact, bro. It's 2020, and still to this day, since I was a kid all the way up to this point, still to this day, bro, as a grown ass man, I am incredibly uncomfortable when I walk into a room full of white people. And I know a lot of people would be like, well, that's ridiculous. No, it isn't. You don't know what it's like to be African American and to have this brown and black skin. I still to this day, I feel uncomfortable walking into certain places because I get stares. Even still in 2020, bro, it's still a thing.
Yeah, and you feel super
self-conscious. It's still a thing.
Wearing all this stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, man. Well, Devin, with that being said, my good sir, why don't you tell us about, obviously, you've kind of mentioned some stuff, but tell us about any new projects you got coming out. Give us your social media. Your social media.
Socials, you can follow me on Instagram at I am DEAVION. Facebook, Devin Davion Bethune, because that is my legal name. A lot of people think I've made that up. It is my legal name. Twitter, do not use it much. Need to get better about that. I am Davion77. And if you want to shoot me some vibes, it's davionmusic@gmail. It's where I do send most of my stuff. So yeah, you can find
shout out your show again. Shout out your show again.
And the rebrand is going to be Davion's Live Vibes.
Ooh, all right. Put a little personal touch on
it. Kind of like Bobby's World. Gotta put your name on it.
That was a great show.
Oh, great cartoon. Great cartoon.
Bobby's World was that shit.
I love that show. Hey man, I from friend to friend. I'm gonna give you my closure, and then I'm gonna have Vince take us out. Because he's my resident segment guy, so we usually close it out on him when it comes to segments. But I want to tell you, friend to friend, man, I appreciate you for coming on the show, man. You're a good dude. We've always vibed, no pun intended. We've always had a good good friendship. We've always vibed well. We've always laughed. We've shared laughs. We share musical tastes, and we're both music artists, so we've always vibed on that. And you're an all around, you're a stand up dude, man. And again, thank you for having me on your show, and thank you for coming on the show, sir.
Like I said, we're gonna get you on the new rebrand, so don't worry. I'm gonna have both of y'all. I would love to have both of y'all.
Yeah, we got
down together.
One of these episodes, we gotta have Vince on there one day. We gotta have Vince on there one day too. He can come on after I come on. I don't want him stealing my shine. You don't get to do that.
Well, white people have stolen enough.
That's right. There you go. There you go. There it is. But thank you for coming, man. And Vince, if you want to send us out on our guest.
Yeah. Thank you, Davion, for being on our show, being our debut, our number one first guest.
Right.
I'll be honest, you set the bar very high for future guests in terms of just like your talent, your vibe, just how like everything. I felt like this, like we're at like about an hour and a half right now. I felt it went by very quick.
What is that dance you're doing? Look at that dance you're doing.
wait, hold up. Make a noise.
There you go.
That's right. We got to see that. We have to see the dance. So thank you so much for coming on again. Everyone, check him out. We'll put also his handles in the description as well, so people can easily access you as well. And I think I'm also going to hit you with a follow as well, because I'm now a fan.
We'll follow back.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Vince is a very supportive guy. He's a very supportive guy. So it's good to have a person like that on your team.
On the gang. Those are my gang members. You didn't notice. Yeah.
Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you. I look forward to finally meeting you in person at some point, Vince. We should all grab a beer or something. She's opening back up soon, so
we should. Yeah. No, I was telling Laren
he's
I'm
in quarantine
locked
mode.
in.
He's in quarantine
I'm locked
mode right
in
now
for November.
yeah.
I got a wedding, and then I'm going to see my family back in Maryland. But after that, I told Laren, like, one of the first things I'm going to do is meet up with him and grab a drink. This has been long overdue.
Yeah.
We'd love if you're there as well, and we could finally meet face to face, and I can see.
I'm good. December, I'm good. So.
Cool. Excellent.
That's right, baby. We gonna drink, do some shots, and then do some heroin. Yeah. Ow!
What?
I
No.
can't wait.
No.
What?
I was up until the very last part.
Nope. No heroin. No heroin.
No.
Oh, you guys don't know how to.
I'm down to do some.
You guys don't know how to live. You guys don't know how to live.
I went to a high school that was nicknamed Heroin High. I don't need to relive any of that anymore.
Oh wow.
That is so fucking
heroin.
That is so random, Vince. You went to Heroin High? What the fuck?
That's what
kind
we were
of school is
nicknamed.
that?
That was the nickname for the school.
Y'all talking about a very different kind of snow.
That you're used to. Well, kids, Vince, we got to go ahead and wrap this up. Davion, my boy, I want to thank you again for coming on our show. And with that, folks, we're gonna wrap it up on our guests. We usually right around this time take it on home, and he is Davion. Make some noise, something, so we can get a shot of you, Devin. And you guys, I am your host. That's our guest, but I am your host with the most. I am the red cup solo drinking, the diet Pepsi in the liquor drinking because I got to chase it with it. I am, because I'm black, I am the seasoning using. Yes, I got seasoning just sitting right here on deck. I season my shit. White people, start seasoning your food. The vodka drinking, look at that, bam, boom, boom. Not the most high price shit, but whatever, it gets the job done. The ice bucket challenge having, chapstick using. Look at that. Look at that. Pie eating, jabroni beating, as said by The Rock, jet flying, limousine riding, man with the master plan, the ruler of the world. I am Laren Maxstar Moore.
And I am the fresh Vince of Bel Air, Vince Eustace.
Hey.
That was really, really good. I almost don't want to say anything after that. And on that note, folks, you have reached, again, Season 2, Episode 4, with our guest, Davion of Popcorn
and Booze.
Bye-bye. Gotta go. See you guys later. Love ya. Yay, yay. Bye-bye. Love ya. See ya. Caca.